present SummerSlam.
SummerSlam video package begins with the WWE Divas hanging out at the beach cliche. Definitely going to see more and more of that with each passing year.
Structure that confirms there is pure evil.
Apparently the Elimination Chamber was the one thing that needed to be created to confirm to us that there is evil in this world. Out of all the deadly things and wars that went down over the years, this is the confirmation we needed. This promo package is about 2 to 3 minutes long, and there are bell tolls for nearly every transition. After the 10th or 15th time, it gets a little annoying, sounding like an alarm clock that I'm begging somebody to turn off.
SummerSlam.
Geez, that guy doesn't sound enthusiastic about this being the biggest wrestling event of the summer. Probably slept in.
This is gonna be a night Triple H will never forget.
But all the other challengers inside the Elimination Chamber will have no problem forgetting about this match, according to Jerry Lawler. It's just Triple H who will go through hell. What the hell is this font? I can't even read Taz's name on here. By this point, the WWE World Tag Team Championship titles have new designs, yet the graphics on the screen have yet to change them. Pre-match assault, and after everything that La Resistance had done to the Dudley boys, why would they even think of turning their backs away even if it's during an entrance? Y'all tarnish the American flag for God's sake.
I don't know if you're right about the fact that
Trip on the invisible John Cena or something? Or did the cleaner forget to remove the ice I accidentally spilled in the ring earlier that night? The guy with the Sin Sucks sign must have been from an alternate universe where I previously existed as the Sinner of Wrestling back in 2003. I don't think you're in the right universe, buddy.
7 times WWE champion.
Wait, what? When the hell did the Dudley boys ever win the WWE Championship once, let alone 7 times?
A WCW tag title.
WCW Tag Team titles now? What in the hell does WCW stand for?
Somewhat unemotional.
Fans are chanting, "We want tables," which is normal, of course, for the Dudley boys. However, the fans are unintentionally hoping the Dudley boys get themselves disqualified for usage of weapons.
16,113.
Fucks, I don't give about the number of fans and the attendance. Hell, I guarantee even in 2003, WWE over-exaggerated the attendance number like they do 20 years later.
The road. Oh, look out.
Wrestler is accidentally thrown into his own partner near the end of a match cliche. Just waiting on the referee getting knocked over next.
It's gonna be over.
Because Jim Ross mispronounced Gunna when he declared the match over for the Dudley boys, that's the jinx La Resistance was hoping for.
Just had that match won, no doubt about that. Hell is that?
I find it funny that Jim Ross didn't notice Rob Conway hitting Devon Dudley with his camera until almost 10 seconds later. Also, victory due to outside interference is always a sin.
But you gotta admit, they were pretty clever.
I'm surprised Jonathan Coachman only got attacked by Stone Cold Steve Austin later on tonight after practically taunting the Dudley boys following their loss to La Resistance. If I were the Dudley boys, I'd go ahead and put Jonathan through a table right now.
Christian, Intercontinental Champion. Should I know who you are? Oh.
Christian feels that just because Eric Bischoff hasn't crossed paths with him before, this means Eric has no idea who he is or what champion he is.
Think you might maybe need some help?
Christian offers his services to Eric Bischoff for the match against Shane McMahon tonight, unaware that the cameras are rolling and Shane is most likely watching this whole thing. After all these years, I'm starting to think the Undertaker actually doesn't know how these motorcycles work based off of his confused looks every time he starts to turn it off.
Don't like the way you've been treating your daughter Stephanie.
Oh, so we're here basically as a WrestleMania rematch without the Big Show involved, all just because the Undertaker randomly decided that he didn't like how Vince McMahon treated Stephanie. Gotcha.
If you can take away that left arm of the A-Train, it makes him harder.
Whoa, Michael, we didn't have to know what happens with A-Train's sexual fantasies when his arm is taken care of.
Target the injury.
A-Train did not even connect that punch to The Undertaker, who reacted to it anyway. Invisible force punches are more common in WWE than one would think.
We can grab his nipples.
What are we doing with the commentary here? I'd rather not hear the awkward recap of Sable grabbing A-Train's nipples.
A-Train whipped across the ring.
A-Train gets thrown into the corner, then accidentally forgets that he's supposed to ricochet off the corner and get lifted into the air for Snake Eyes. Oh crap, sorry, I'm on my way.
We're setting A-Train up for the last.
Wow, that didn't last long before a referee got knocked over at the crucial point of the match. Cliche.
Into the corner by A-Train. Missed with the right.
The way Undertaker connected that clothesline to the referee who briefly turned into a spinning helicopter, I think that was done on purpose. He knew he missed A-Train as he slowed down and pulled back, then saw an opportunity to knock out the referee and conveniently sped himself back up.
Reverse. Missed with the clothesline.
I'm surprised the Undertaker didn't suddenly hit the referee with another clothesline after ducking A-Train.
Look out! Who's on?
Did Taz just say tombstone? At least that's what I think he said. Regardless, I don't think that's a tombstone that's about to be connected here.
You see the eyes in.
The Undertaker grabs Sable for a chokeslam and just stands around for almost a minute not doing that. Obviously, he's waiting for Stephanie McMahon to make her return, but because the music doesn't play for quite a while, it feels awkward. Bet Undertaker was like, where the hell is she? I'm tempted to chokeslam this bitch. Hurry up already!
Stephanie kicking the hell out of Sable.
Stephanie McMahon is doing anything but kicking Sable. Does that look like she's kicking Sable to you?
Perhaps the most personal matchup in recent years.
I don't see how a feud between Shane McMahon and Eric Bischoff could qualify as the most personal rivalry in recent years. Can we just give some props to the one known as the sign guy? His creativity with signs over the years is unbelievable.
Juicy. Delicious.
You know what I'm actually shocked about? Eric Bischoff is trying to start the what chance with the way he's describing Linda McMahon, and the audience is not interested in saying what? Since they don't want to say what for promos, can we have this audience for literally every wrestling event ever?
And this is going to be a street fight here.
Jim Ross says that this match is going to be a street fight. This is before Eric Bischoff changed the rules, so as of now, it's not a street fight. It ends up being a false count anywhere match, but still, don't spoil things, JR. Heel wrestler, or in this case, heel general manager, tries to run away when he's not in control of the match cliche. And if Eric hired Jonathan Coachman to help him beat down Shane, why didn't he just have Jonathan show up right now?
Pinfalls count anywhere.
Mid-match stipulation changes. Also, if Eric Bischoff has the ability to change match stipulations, then why didn't he reverse the decision when he lost the match to Shane McMahon due to the interference of Stone Cold Steve Austin? For every answer found to a question, several more questions pop up. This entire sequence of Eric Bischoff and Jonathan Coachman beating down Shane McMahon while Jonathan does his own commentary is going to throw 5 more sins on the counter because this is seriously irritating and takes too long.
Shane! Shane! Shane!
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Oh, again!
I would have taken off those 5 sins I added if Eric missed Shane completely and kicked Jonathan in the face without Shane even moving. At least that would have been funny. I don't even want to say it, I'm just tired. Took you long enough, Steve. What the hell were you doing the last 5 minutes? Drinking beer in the bathroom?
Not touching you.
Gotta love it when there are loopholes to certain rules. Stone Cold Steve Austin cannot strike Jonathan Coachman unless the latter physically provokes him, thus Shane pushes Jonathan into Steve. Doesn't matter how someone gets physically provoked, long as it happens, you're done for. Shane McMahon was going to pin Eric Bischoff to win the match, then realized that 20 years later a random YouTuber would send him for it and prevented that from happening. Well played, Shane. You win this battle. This scene sadly did not contain Steve Austin giving Shane McMahon a stunner during the beer celebration.
He walks out as the world champion. But what if? There is no what if.
Ric Flair read the spoiler results and told Randy Orton what's happening, forgetting that the cameras were rolling and now the entire world knows the results of tonight's main event.
The Fatal 4-Way match. Following contest is the Fatal 4-Way.
Tony Chimel literally explained that the following match was a Fatal 4-Way match prior to Chris Benoit entering, completely with details on how the match takes place. Then when Chris makes his entrance, he repeats every last word he said.
Again, it's every man for himself.
Just in case you didn't hear Tony say that during the ring introductions prior to the entrances, guess the commentators figured nobody was paying attention earlier since Tony repeated his introductions as well.
There, attacks Benoit.
Not gonna lie, Eddie Guerrero has some of the best strategies here. He knows he can lose the United States Championship without being involved in the decision, so he hangs out outside the ring until the match is in danger of ending and then retreats back into the shadows. Smart.
This type of match does not favor the champion.
Eddie Guerrero previously attacked all 3 of these competitors on SmackDown, yet when he retreats from the ring, nobody goes after him. Rhino begins to chase Eddie, but the moment the latter leaves the ring, he turns his attention to Tajiri instead. Seriously?
Again, the rules are simple.
No, we're not going to hear the rules again. And if they're simple, then why do you need so much explaining every 5 minutes from the commentators?
Enough with the rules. How many times with the rules?
Thank you, Taz!
Eddie Guerrero taking advantage.
This was an awkward situation because of many things. This should have been a successful pinfall for Eddie Guerrero because Chris Benoit stayed down and never moved, added in with Rhino not breaking it up in time. And don't forget the fact that Chris's feet were completely inside the ring and not out of bounds, yet the referee stopped the count for whatever reason. I don't think Eddie's the one lying, cheating, and stealing here. Here are 5 sins.
Jerry, though. Here's the cover hook to the left.
Tajiri literally waited until Rhino actually went for a pin before slowly approaching to break it up at the last second. I would have instantly kicked Rhino and tried to pin Eddie myself if I'm being perfectly honest here. Much more strategic.
The cross face looked in.
This moment is actually awesome, something I'll remove a sin for. Eddie Guerrero has that look where he has to make a choice. Release his submission to break up the crippler crossface, or risk losing the title in a battle to see who submits first.
All 4 athletes in great condition.
This match is awesome and hilarious at the same time. You'll love to see it, folks.
He has to break this before the count. Come on.
What 5 count? There are no disqualifications in a Fatal 4-Way match. And if there were, how the hell does that work? Does the match become a triple threat without Tajiri present? Or does Tajiri, Eddie Guerrero, and Rhino all get disqualified when the latter 2 didn't do shit to get disqualified in the first place? Ow, my head hurts. Look what you did to me, Michael.
Measuring Chris Benoit.
Heads up, heads up!
May not want to take all the time in the world next time, Tajiri. I get that's your thing, but it doesn't work here. Over 3 minutes dedicated to Zach Gowen not being able to compete tonight at SummerSlam, all of which could have been covered in about 5 seconds. Yeah, Brock Lesnar whooped his ass, and as a result, Zach will not be able to compete tonight. Alright, coming up next.
It was a damn setup.
Vince McMahon continues to confuse me. First he's against Brock Lesnar, and then conveniently was working with Brock the entire time to get that Kurt Angle when they could have just done that in the first place when they both had multiple chances.
For the WWE Championship.
Surprised neither Brock Lesnar nor Kurt Angle told the referee, no shit, this match is for the WWE Championship, and why are you just now telling us the rules after all the years of WWE title matches where you did not do that?
Becomes frustrating him apart like he's doing here.
Kurt Angle hit 2 successful arm drag takedowns on Brock Lesnar, but started slipping in the ring afterward because someone forgot to put a caution wet floor sign up in there. Stupid janitors. Aw, come on, that monitor had a family, you psycho! Isn't it bad enough that it already lost its home?
What he had to do.
This entire temper tantrum sequence is from a couple of arm drag takedowns, might I add. I can only imagine what Brock would do from a few body slams.
That is his WWE.
Title theft, and also how has the referee not begun his 10 count? Brock's been outside throwing a tantrum for the last minute. Brock Lesnar is an idiot. I'd understand this strategy if he was the WWE champion, but he doesn't even realize that getting counted out would just allow Kurt Angle to retain his title.
Down. Champion's got him. And Lesnar kicked him.
No, he did not. Brock Lesnar's shoulders never went off the canvas. The only thing that saved him from being pinned was Kurt Angle slipping off of him before the referee could finish. If only Kurt maintained his position, Brock would have been fucked. Consider himself lucky.
1 year ago tonight, Brock Lesnar with a victory over the Rock.
I think you mean 1 year ago tomorrow, because last year's SummerSlam was on August 25th, not the 24th.
Those bad boys. You talked earlier on.
I'm just gonna assume that Kurt Angle's punches had no effect on Brock Lesnar because they kept missing their target. Kurt Angle's counter from the F5 was absolutely amazing. Matter of fact, this match in general was amazing. Anytime you got Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle in the ring, you're guaranteed to see an amazing wrestling match.
Here we go. Angle slam. Kurt retains.
Damn it, Taz, you just had to jinx Kurt Angle's momentum. Instant Kurt retains assumption before the pinfall was complete. Kurt Angle pulled down his straps to connect the Angle Slam, and when that failed, he put the straps back up. Not even 5 seconds later, he pulls the straps back down again. What was the point of putting them back up then? Magic powers? Second match tonight where this has happened. After all these years, I'm surprised referees still get knocked out from being shoved over. I don't see how Brock Lesnar would pass out considering he's got his arm blocking Kurt's legs from doing any real damage. Not to mention his head can easily move around in there. And F5 is fun to watch in general, but to see Brock Lesnar balance himself on one leg and still be able to perfectly connect it is very impressive.
This time, Angle counters with.
Man, Kurt Angle fucking rules with epic counters like that. Just when you think you've seen it all, he surprises you. When wondering, WWE censored the sign because it said superhero in training with the first letters of each word capitalized. And I think you know where this is going. You can hate on Vince McMahon all you want, but you cannot deny the dude puts himself through more brutal bumps than a majority of his own roster. Like he said, the wrestlers don't do anything that Vince himself would not do. That shit looked painful.
First elimination.
And then Goldberg accidentally kicked the camera, breaking it while breaking his headphones at the same time. Whoops. Another thing I gotta remove a sin for is the scary and brutal way Kane had become since removing his mask. Unmasked Kane has always been the scariest and deadliest version of him, both in the ring and later as a mayor.
I have been adjusted for no holds barred.
Impromptu match stipulations. Because the WWE officials are dicks to Rob Van Dam and want to see Kane burn him alive too, just like he did to JR.
You know when you say
Boy, that has got to be one of the softest throws into the barricade I've ever seen, especially from a psychopath like Kane.
ring, Kane. Oh, look at that.
That was a creative move on the part of Rob Van Dam to launch the ladder back into Kane's face. The only problem is the ladder barely moved as Kane's arm was in the way and stopped it, so the only one who really got hurt was RVD.
He's not intimidated.
Rob Van Dam has really got to work on his timing because he practically threw himself over Kane without doing any damage to anyone but himself.
Down the cuff. Couldn't even get a 1 count.
What are you talking about, Jerry? Kane kicked out after 1, not before. Is he watching a different match?
Avoided that gas can last week. Oh.
There we go. Now we're cooking up on some well-executed maneuvers. I liked how Rob Van Dam missed the first enziguri but landed on his feet and successfully hit the backwards enziguri. Even if Rob Van Dam moved out of the way, it is still insane to see Kane leap off the top rope to the outside of the ring for someone his size.
Van Dam. And oh.
Rob Van Dam is addicted to Kane's big red machines.
Corner to corner. Here he goes.
Well, maybe next time Rob should think twice before doing the Rob Van Dam taunt so many times before practically every move he does.
Shane McMahon.
Even if we only saw this from behind Kane, you can clearly tell that Rob Van Dam was almost 2 feet off the ground and never once connected with the stairs from that tombstone piledriver. Hell, I don't even think his long hair touched the stairs either. Eric Bischoff should consider himself lucky that the bag of ice protected his face from being damaged further by Linda McMahon.
Champ.
Quiet, Rick. I'm trying to beat my staring contest record with my World Heavyweight Championship. Damn it, I blinked. Why would you do this to me?
From St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri.
To be the world.
Howard Finkel singing along to Evolution's music. In some ways, I don't blame him because it's a catchy tune. Imagine if he randomly decides to karaoke the theme music for everyone in this match. That'd be hilarious.
Never before. And if you ask me,
Triple H realizes that he entered the Elimination Chamber before his music was at the right verse and had to stand around for nearly 30 seconds waiting for his cue to spit the water in the air. The footage here was edited so WWE wouldn't show it, but I'm sure everyone knows exactly what I'm about to say to Goldberg. Haha, you tripped. True story, he actually did. It's out there somewhere. WWE did an awesome job in starting off the Elimination Chamber with the epic WrestleMania 19 rematch between Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho. These guys always put on great matches with each other every time.
join forces with Marty Jannetty and Tito Santana
Shawn Michaels overshot the leap onto the middle rope and had to start over with a jump.
one time. And that was in
I'm actually surprised that Chris Jericho didn't run into Shawn Michaels, given how the latter didn't get that much height at all when he jumped in the corner. Shawn should consider himself lucky Chris didn't become a batter and ran right into his rear end. They'd have to call in Special Victims Unit. Sometimes I don't even think Chris Jericho himself realizes that his walls of Jericho is not really affecting his opponent given the way he's positioned.
force of the Tennessee Balls.
Maybe Kevin Nash's constantly rupturing quadricep is blocking his brain from functioning properly, because why would he interrupt Chris Jericho potentially submitting Shawn Michaels? One less threat means a higher chance of becoming the World Heavyweight Champion.
Oh, look at that. The super kick.
It's called Sweet Chin Music, you fucking asshole! So did I sound like Chris Jericho here too, or not really? Also, eliminating Kevin Nash was that quick and easy. Suffered practically no damage whatsoever, but one single Sweet Chin Music was enough to put him out for good. I'm not trying to downgrade Shawn's finishing move, but it logically should take more than one to take down a fresh Kevin Nash.
A wounded animal.
Shawn Michaels be like, get your ass back in that pod. That was so funny to see Triple H all confident as he exits his pod just to get hit with Sweet Chin Music and sent back into it. Post-elimination assault.
And Orton got
Falls count anywhere inside the Elimination Chamber, as you can pin your opponent outside the ring. So how the hell can there be rope breaks in this match at all?
seam straight.
Goldberg in his prime is freaking amazing to watch. That press slam turned into a spine buster on Randy Orton was impressive. It was amazing to see Goldberg spear Chris Jericho right through the pod. However, the glass did not break upon first impact, and they had to add some more pressure after being stopped in their tracks. In other words, that has gotta hurt both men more than the broken glass ever could. Ric Flair is actually dumb enough to think that holding the door shut is going to stop Goldberg from getting Triple H out of there. Did you not see him go through that other pod 2 minutes ago? Also, even if this did work and Goldberg was unable to get to Hunter, what is the real plan here? Pass as much time as possible until it's the next day? The strategy is stupid when you realize the match has to end eventually. I won't lie, the way Hunter countered Goldberg's spear with the sledgehammer was a brutal and awesome way to end the Elimination Chamber match. It was fun.
You will never see it.
Obvious sequel match is obvious.